All right. We've talked about getting your product into more channels, into more markets, and now we're going to talk about what it actually takes to land that delivery on your customer doorstep and why the last mile is so important. I am excited to introduce Ashley Packenham, Merchant Success Enablement Manager at ShipBob for the next session. I need to share my screen again, and then we can get into it. Awesome. So you are tuned into Chapter 3, Delight Every Customer. And Ashley, I will give you the mic.
Awesome. Thanks, Lindsay. Hey, everyone. I'm Ashley Packenham. I'm a manager on our Merchant Success Enablement team here at ShipBob. So my job is to really enable our Merchant Success team to show up as true experts for all of our merchants. That means making sure that our teams know what products, programs, and how to connect the dots between what ShipBob offers and what our merchants actually need to grow. So when we talk about delighting every customer, I'm thinking about it from both sides, how we equip our team to guide merchants towards the right tools, but then also how do those tools actually move the needle for the brands that they're all supporting. And so that's what I'm going to be digging in today. Perfect. So want to start with 3 numbers that should completely reframe how we should be thinking about our fulfillment setup. So we surveyed all of our brands and found that 98% of our brands add some form of customization to their orders. At this point, customization is not a differentiator, it's baseline. And so really the question is whether you're doing it consistently, accurately, and at scale, or whether it falls apart the moment volume picks up. Next is that 55% of shoppers are more likely to return to a brand's website if the order arrives in branded packaging. That's repeat purchase rate and LTV, and that's money that your marketing team spent on acquisition actually paying off, or conversely not paying off based on what happens during the last mile. And lastly, 193 to 233% of average Black Friday, Monday sales spike for most brands. So your customization setup doesn't need to just work on a regular Tuesday, but it also needs to hold when everything doubles or triples overnight. And that's an operation problem as much as it is a brand one. And I'm going to dig into how our customization suite was built to handle these exact problems. So your shipment is the most reliable touch point you have with your customer. Your ad might not reach them. Your email might go into their spam inbox. Your social post might get buried in the plethora of social media posts that we're all seeing these days. But if they placed an order, a box is going straight to their door, and that is a guaranteed physical brand interaction. And you really get to decide what that says about you and your brand. So through our customization suite, it's designed to help brands use that moment intentionally. Things like branded packaging, custom kitting, gift notes, on-demand inserts, all of it runs inside of our fulfillment centers, and your team doesn't need to touch it. You design the experience once, and then we execute it on every single order, including when things spike overnight. And I think one of our customers, PF Candle, said it best, that ShipBob helps them deliver an impeccable customer experience thanks to our customization suite and quick shipping from our strategically placed fulfillment centers. And that outcome is an experience your customer associates with your brand, not just your fulfillment partner. So hot off the press, before we get into specific features of our customization suite, I do want to highlight something that's beta launching this month, but it really underpins everything else we're going to talk about today. But we are launching a delivery promise feature that sits at the intersection of what your customer sees and what it costs you to deliver it. So let's start at the beginning. When a customer logs onto your website and before even making a purchase on your site, they see a delivery date at checkout. And that date needs to be real, not a best guess, not a range, a date that they can truly count on. And that's exactly what Delivery Promise is going to solve for. And the screenshot here shows how it lands for merchants in practice. So our delivery date engine uses a confidence model trained on millions of historical shipments that we've shipped from every fulfillment center to pretty much every single zip code based off of all of our carrier combinations. And that's how we predict transit time based off of what we're seeing in the network. If we know a carrier can't meet that promise date, we will route around it automatically. No silent failures, and carrier selection is evaluated on both cost and delivery availability at the same time. So what matters here is accuracy. We're setting a date that the shopper can count on, and then we're meeting it. And that's pretty hard to do. It takes the right technology, the right operations, and the right network all working together. And that's really why we built this feature. If we go to the next slide, yep. And then our ShipBob delivery promise really delivers a two-sided value. One is for your customers, but then the other one is for your bottom line. So first up for your customers, we're giving them a delivery date they can trust, right? Not a broad, it will arrive in 3 to 7 business days. It's based off of our 98% delivery estimate accuracy that we saw in Q4. So and they're getting a clear status at every handoff once the order is confirmed, picked, packed, shipped, and then all the way through delivery. And there's really no gap in communication, no mystery, and fewer "where's my order" tickets, because the customer knows exactly where their order is before they even have to ask you. And that's confidence at checkout, right? When a shopper sees a specific accurate delivery date, they'll convert at a higher rate. That estimated delivery date is a closing tool just as much as it is a logistics tool. And then second, on your bottom line, cost optimized carrier selection means that we're not just defaulting to the fastest carrier. We're selecting the right carrier in each shipment based on cost and delivery commitment. And that intelligent fallback prevents label failures and things that would otherwise break SLA and send your customers straight to your support queue. So you're not overpaying for speed where you don't need to. And this is really only possible because ShipBob owns our entire fulfillment stack. So the warehouse management system, carrier relationships, and the data, we all own it. And that's a promise that we can actually keep because we control every part of the process. And then, I see a question in the chat. I believe this is only for D2C current state. And then really here, just want to touch that once a package leaves the warehouse, the tracking experience needs to match the delivery promise. And as I'm sure you all feel, 30 to 40% of all e-commerce support tickets are "where's my order" or WISMO inquiries. And during peak, that number can even exceed to upwards of 50%. Based off of research, we found that ticket resolve costs can range between $5 to $22. And usually the root cause isn't that the package is lost, it's a visibility gap between multiple carrier handoffs, tracking numbers that just stop updating, confusing statuses. Your customer doesn't know what's happening, and so they immediately will contact you. So would love for everyone to do the math for their own business, but to put it in perspective, if you're shipping 10,000 orders a month and 35% of your support tickets are WISMO, that's at $10 a ticket, that's about $35,000 a month in costs that has nothing to do with making your product better or acquiring new customers. And most of that's preventable, not by things like faster shipping, but by stronger communication. So when a customer knows where their order is, they stop asking. And that is what our branded tracking page and proactive shipment notifications were built for, which I will get into in the next slide. So this is what our custom branded tracking page will look like. Your customers, on average, are tracking about 4.6 times per order. So that's 4.6 opportunities to reinforce your brand. So TrackBob is ShipBob's branded tracking page. And here's what kind of every one of those check-ins look like. And it's your brand, not the carrier's. So every status update is with your logo, your product photography, your brand colors. And so your customer is really staying in your world the entire time. This can aid as a conversion surface as well, not just a status page. So while your customer is waiting and checking their package tracking, you can surface things like discount codes for their next order, an upsell opportunity, a loyalty program prompt. And it's really trying to check in with that customer while they're in that peak intent, like post-purchase mindset. So it reduces WISMO tickets by design. We're giving them proactive updates so they aren't left guessing, and they get notified when each status changes, which means they're checking the tracking page instead of sending an email to your CX team. And TrackBob can directly integrate with Klaviyo and Gorgeous. So your existing CX stack, your post-purchase experience feeds directly into your marketing and support workflows. So one of our customers, Stonehenge, VP of Ops Greg, said it best that a clean branded customer experience as opposed to a random, unmessy, unbranded tracking page is why he enabled the service. The experience is differences in one sentence. Perfect. And then that is talking about how our branded packaging handles the proactive side. I do want to get into a little bit of the reactive side. We all know that we are naturally going to get WISMO orders. They're not going to stop completely with this. So the CX stack integration handles all of the reactive work and what happens when a customer does reach out. So like I said, we integrate with with platforms like Klaviyo and Gorgeous. So we have automated order and inventory alerts set up with Klaviyo. So customers are notified when their orders receive, pick, pack, ship, when a previously out of stock item is back. And so these aren't manual emails or texts that your team needs to do. They're triggered by real-time fulfillment events. So there's no manual work needed. And then we're also empowering the CX agents with our integration with Gorgeous. So your support team sees real-time order and fulfillment data without needing to switch out of their help desk. When a customer contacts you, your agent already knows where the order is, what happened, and what potential resolution steps are. So resolution time drops and customer satisfaction goes up. The brands that keep Wismo tickets low aren't necessarily the ones with the fastest shipping. They're really the ones that are giving their customers transparent communication. Speed does matter, but certainty matters more. And a customer who knows their order will arrive Thursday is much more satisfied than a customer who doesn't know whether it'll be Tuesday or Friday. Perfect. And then, so where do we get 100% open rate? It's not via an email, not via a social post, but it's really with the packages that you ship. Every single customer who ordered from you is going to open that package, and that is the most reliable, guaranteed audience you have. And really the question is what you want your packaging to say. So we have a few different branded packaging capabilities. First up, we have custom box and mailers. That is really made to your specs, your brand, your dimensions, and they're all stored at our fulfillment centers and applied automatically at pick. We have a proprietary box algorithm that uses a triple Cubiscan process to match every single order to the right box. So your product's protected, your packaging investment isn't wasted, and your order is going in the right box, so you're not paying for void fill. Second, we have some SKU level packaging preferences that we can set. So if you want product A to ship into a branded mailer, but you want product B to ship in a custom box, we set those rules once and it automatically happens with every single order. You're not relying on someone in the warehouse to remember what you want for your packaging preferences. And then we also have custom sender labels at no cost. So you can add your brand to the shipping label, not ShipBob's name, not a carrier's name. And we're also built for peak. So your brand accuracy doesn't drop when volume doubles during Black Friday or Cyber Monday. The same spec applies on a Tuesday as it does on Cyber Monday. And that's consistency that does matter at scale. We work with brands like Our Place who are featured here to integrate with their custom box or custom packaging into our fulfillment process. And that ensures that every package is packed in the right size box and it maintains efficiency. Also want to touch on subscriptions. So for the brands in the room that are running on subscription boxes, seasonal gift sets, or any kind of bundled product, kitting sounds simple until you're doing it at scale. So 500 subscription boxes a month is manageable, but 5,000 a month with 4 SKU variants, 3 size options, and seasonal packaging becomes a full-time job unless your fulfillment partner is set up to absorb that. So we kit subscription boxes, promo bundles, all inside of a fulfillment center. And what it looks like operationally is we're very flexible with kitting. You can have branded packaging with multiple SKUs, custom labels, stickers, barcodes, all of that. And if it can be assembled, we can kit it. So we support a wide range of kitting configurations. And then we also have transparent pricing and turnaround. So you can submit kitting requests directly from the dashboard. You can duplicate and edit. So if you want to repeat the same kitting order multiple times, you can do that in an instant. And we also give instant price estimates and you can track progress in real time. So no back and forth of trying to get a quote. And then we also are subscription native. So we have direct integrations with Order Groove and Recharge. So reoccurring orders are picked, packed, and delivered on your schedule. And no headcount is required. So every kit is assembled by our fulfillment center. Your operations team doesn't need to grow. It's really just your capability. And subscription retention is one of the most powerful levers a brand has. And the unboxing experience of a subscription order is one of the most underinvested touch points. So when the box is right every single month, your subscription churn rate reflects that. And then hopping into some of our inserts and gift note capability. So this is one of the highest investments you can make in your post-purchase experience. So we support 3 different types of gift note formats and 2 insert types. So for gift notes, We have our standard gift notes, and it could be a simple, thoughtful way to personalize any gift. You upload your logo and it appears on every note, and that adds a branded touch without the cost of a premium format. But we also do have premium gift note options for a more elevated experience. So this can be things like postcards. They're printed in full color, branded cardstock, featuring a handwritten style font to make it more personal, polished, and these are well suited for things like special occasions or holidays. And then we also have some print on demand options for marketing inserts. So no pre-printing on your side is required, and you're also not paying for that inventory storage. So this could be used for things like promoting a new product, offering a discount, or promoting loyalty. And we also have a fully customizable insert that can be customizable down to the customer. We partnered with a platform called Undigital, and that lets you create targeted campaigns based on your customer purchase history and shopping behavior. So you can refine the messaging, track ROI, tailor inserts to drive conversions. And that is the epitome of a true personalized unboxing experience to bring customers back. And then lastly, we want to touch on returns. As we all know and feel probably, returns are one of the most painful parts of e-commerce, and they're part of the post-purchase experience that most brands just treat as a cost center and most customers treat as a trust signal. So brands that make returns easy to get more repeat buyers, even from customers who return something. A frictionless return converts a disappointed customer into a loyal one, and a painful return converts them into an angry customer. So we have a few different return solutions. We have our standard return flow, which is for our D2C brands across all product categories, managed by ShipBob's standard flow, scalable, connected to your dashboard, and straightforward. And we've also launched our apparel return flows. So these are for mid-market merchants with complex inspection, refurbishment, and value-added service requirements for apparel. Those are all operated out of our Fort Worth hub, which is purpose-built for things like tagging, restocking, and QA that our apparel brands demand. And then this quarter, we also have a few exciting updates coming to our returns process. So we're introducing our QR return labels for both standard and apparel returns. So your customers can scan a QR code, then it returns using ShipBob's carrier rates. The package flows directly into our network, and that means a simpler return for your customer and less friction. We also do lot product returns. So if you sell lot tracked items, eligible returns can now be inspected and restocked, so you can recover value and reduce waste for things like food, supplement, and beauty brands where lot tracking is a compliance requirement. And then we're also expanding into our apparel function, as I said. So refurbishment, garment tagging, and again, that's all operated out of our Fort Worth facility. So a return handled well is not revenue lost. We really need to think about it as an opportunity to turn a disappointed customer into a loyal one. And then wanted to bring this with the operational reality, because I know some of you are probably thinking this all sounds great, but how does it hold up at scale? So ShipBob fulfills millions of custom orders annually. We have a 99.95% accuracy rate across 70 fulfillment centers, over 3 continents, and none of that requires headcount on our brand side. So the same experience in LA will be the same experience in London. So it's not just consistency within the US, but if you have an order shipping from Sydney, Australia, and an order shipping from Chicago, both of those customers are going to get the same experience. We integrate with with tools like Shopify, Gorgeous, Klaviyo, so that your fulfillment and CX stack all work together. And that means that your CX team isn't siloed into our or your 3PL's portal. It's connected directly into your marketing, support, and loyalty infrastructures that are already built today. And then lastly, I just want to close with one brand story, because I do think it just illustrates everything that I've covered in this portion of the playbook today. But PF Candle is one of our customers and is a premium home fragrance brand. They sell things like candles, diffusers, room sprays, and they sell on 5 different channels, shipped to 14 countries, all while maintaining a 4.96 e-commerce CSAT score. And here's what makes that number remarkable, is that they're running a complex operation. So they both do D2C, retail, wholesale. They have 3 brick and mortar stores, 14 international markets, and every new channel and market is another variable that could, in theory, dilute the customer experience, yet they've been able to maintain this 4.96 CSAT score. And ShipBob has helped them do that through a few different things. So one is transit time. They've taken advantage of our inventory placement program, and we've cut 5 days off of their average transit time, which is about a 71% reduction. That faster delivery is a direct input into their CSAT score. So when a package arrives before the customer even expects it, they notice, they're happy, they're loyal. And then second is we've helped them with their custom brand experience. So they've used the customization suite to do things like custom packaging, custom inserts. And so that unboxing experience is really upheld at every channel across every country. So when their D2C customer in the US experiences one experience, the same goes for a UK wholesale customer as well. So a 4.96 CSAT isn't just a marketing initiative, it's really an operational outcome. It's what happens when their fulfillment infrastructure is built to protect their brand at scale across every channel and every market.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna launch our, oh, I thought I was muted. Okay, I'm gonna launch our last poll of the day. Let me stop sharing. Just before we get into questions, after today, I'm curious, where does your ops stack stand? Are you ready to scale? Do you think you have gaps to fill? Are you going to start evaluating some solutions? So this is over on the poll tab. If you can drop your answers in as we get into Q&A. And with that, would love to open the floor. There have been a few questions in the chat already, but if you have any questions on anything that Ashley covered on scaling across markets, across channels, and just creating an overall delightful customer experience, drop them in the chat. I believe that this was answered, and I'm like 99% sure I know the answer, but we covered this in the last slide. So is customization, all of the offerings that you presented today, Ashley, these aren't just US offerings, right? These are available across our international sites too.
Yeah, if it's on like one of the inserts in particular, we can definitely get you connected to a ShipBob contact for that. But on a broad scale, yeah, all of these are made for scale, and that includes all of our international markets.
Awesome. And I know we have a question from Jennifer in the chat, and I might need you to add a bit more context. Jennifer, how do these marketing inserts affect the eligibility of media mail? I don't know if you have an answer to that, Ashley.
I can take this one back, Jennifer, and get you an answer on this one as well. I know media mail has a few eligibility requirements, and so I don't want to speak out of tongue here, but I will get you an answer on that one.
Awesome. So I want to touch on the Wizmo question of it all, because that's a big one. And that's why we launched these partnerships that we have with Gorgeous and with Klaviyo, and built somewhat of our own solution with TrackBob. For a brand that hasn't invested in branded tracking yet, do you have any suggestions on like quick wins or anything they can implement from just adding that one change into their process?
Yeah, I think the question is really like where all of that traffic goes for your Wizmo orders. So a generic carrier page tells them almost nothing and sends them probably straight to your inbox. I know, especially as we are introduced, all these regional carriers are coming into the market. Those tracking pages can get confusing and hard to understand. Tracking links get, broken if there's a handoff service. And so by integrating our branded tracking page, it kind of takes all of that and eliminates it. And we also are integrated directly with Gorgeous and Klaviyo. So the deflection connects to your broader support and retention workflow from day one. Your CX agents also aren't spending the time going to these individual tracking pages or your 3PL's dashboard. So for something that's as high traffic as Wizmo orders, and something that most brands leave completely blank, I do think that the branded tracking page is such an easy, quick win.
I agree, especially as a shopper, there's nothing worse. Like if I'm ordering something and then I open my Chrome tabs, I have like 5, 6, 7 different tabs of when I was trying to open my tracking page. And when it's all consolidated in one like easy to find place, it makes the experience so much better. I have a question on just customization at scale, since that's what this chapter is about. So you had mentioned customization is the same, whether it's a regular Tuesday, whether we're in Black Friday, Cyber Monday, or if you're blowing up on TikTok and one of your products goes viral. So how does ShipBob really manage that customization at scale without the accuracy piece dropping?
Yeah. So I think the emphasis here is that nothing about our customization at ShipBob is manual. It's all rule-based, right? So pack specs, insert logic, packaging preferences by SKU, they're all configured into the ShipBob dashboard and executed the same way, whether you're shipping 500 orders or 50,000. And then also our hub and spoke model. So our receiving locations and then our in turn spoke fulfillment center sites also play a role here. So inbound hubs will handle all the receiving and sortation, and then our outbound spokes will handle the pick, pack, and ship of it all. So that separation means a surge in outbound volume doesn't create chaos for the entire operation. Our inbound hubs are focused on inbounding, while our outbound spoke sites are able to focus strictly on outbound. And so through the WMS integration and everything being rule-based, there's no question of how to customize or what needs to be included in an order.
Awesome. And I know you're more on the enablement side now, but I'm curious, just from your experience working with brands, what's one of your more favorite customization features that you help guide brands through? Is it the unboxing experience? Is it tracking pages or anything else?
Yeah, I think custom boxes and custom inserts are something that are always my favorite to work with customers with, just as a chronic online shopper myself. I'm always looking at inserts when I'm unboxing a box and does the box fit? I think our place is a perfect example. I'm a customer of theirs. I know that their custom boxes hold my pots and pans perfectly via their inserts, and then I'm probably going to get a coupon or a discount code for my next purchase. And that really just makes the entire customer purchase and, the percentage of repeat customers and loyalty. So that's one of my favorite and easy ways to help customers.
Yeah, I feel like ever since working at ShipBob, I've become such a, I don't know, like I've become so critical of the packaging that I receive. And when it's done well, it's so impressive because I just know like the level of care and work that goes into setting that up to make it manageable at scale. And now that, if I'm ordering something and it just comes in a regular brown box, I'm like, oh, this is so boring. Impress me a little bit more. So the standards are definitely getting raised. I think we have one more question. I'm just trying to skim it really quick. Who's the best contact to learn more about ensuring a smooth launch? Francesca, that's a great question. I'll have the team, I have to look in our system to see who to connect you with, but I will follow up directly. I've got your email from the registration piece. Awesome. Well, I think that wraps up today. Ashley, thanks so much for your time. It's really great to get your perspective, having worked with so many different merchants and helping brands of all sizes scale across ShipBob's platform. These sessions are being recorded. They'll land in your inbox tomorrow. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to the team. Click that book a demo button. It'll just get you connected with a fulfillment expert. And thanks for your time today. This was a jam-packed session and there's a lot to unpack. So definitely follow up with any questions and we'll see you on the next one. Thank you.